anything to do with you?
Yeah, I suppose there is. I would say I was, or for a bit of innocence in me. I'm very innocent, very naive lad, and I'm a priest in real life. So I'd say, yeah, most of Dougal is me.
Dermot was saying that you thought it was time for him to move away from the dog collar business, you know. Did you have similar feelings about Ted being Dougal?
Not really, no. I always saw it as a very enjoyable and very large part of what I do.
Yeah.
And you know, it still remains, you know, very enjoyable. And so I've no great desire to leave it completely behind or anything, because I certainly owe everything I've done since to Father Ted and its success, I would have to say, yeah.
So you can envisage yourself going back, say, if another episode?
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to go back immediately or in the next 2 years or 3 years even, but eventually maybe, yeah, because it is very, very enjoyable, you know. I can't stress that enough. Very enjoyable.
Is this the last series or will there be more?
I don't know. The honest answer. It's up to the writers, you know. I think we've all said that. I think my attitude to it is that, like, I'm very happy with what we've done to date, and in a way I hope I'm never asked to do it again. But if I am asked, I'll jump at the chance.
Yeah, but meanwhile you're quite happy doing the stand-up show and other outlets.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to continue doing as many different things as possible, and that's one of the luxuries is when you do something like Father Ted, is you do get opportunities to do different things, you know, and like, that's great, and the more the better, really, because I'm still trying to find out what I want to be, you know, like the question you're asked when you're 17, what are you going to do? I'm still asking myself that, what am I going to do, you know? I don't know what I'm going to do next year.
How crazy is it on the set?
Like on the actual recording nights, I mean, during rehearsals it's quite boring, you know, people just whinging about how tired they are and how unhealthy they are. I mean, that's the same as any workplace, really. And everyone's more unhealthy now than they were 5 years ago, I've noticed. There's a decline in health, mental and physical, in this country. And, but the actual recording nights is when it all peaks and when it all comes together, and that's very enjoyable, you know. I can't stress that enough. You know, once the audience is in, it's a real kick. I really enjoy it.
I hear you ad-lib a lot.
Well, you can't really ad-lib your lines. You can ad-lib in and around the lines, but because so many people are depending on those lines. First of all, I think the lines are very good, and there'd be no need to change them. But you know, because the other actors are depending on you to hit marks and give them cues, and all the lighting people, and camera people, etc., etc. So there's very little scope for ad-libbing.
Do you have a favourite episode? I've seen episode 4 here. Ted gets to kick Bishop Brennan up the arse. Did you do anything like that? Anything that you particularly liked about what I'm going to see coming up?
I kind of like them all, you know. There's certainly moments in them all that are as good as sort of any other moments. I think from Dougal's point of view, probably the best episode is where Ted gets the milkman sacked for various sort of things, underhand behaviour, and Dougal takes over the milk float. It's kind of a long-standing ambition of Dougal's to be a milkman, so he takes over, and the previous milkman leaves a bomb on the milk float, and if the milk float goes above 4 miles an hour, it'll blow up. So Dougal has to go around in this milk float and keep it at a steady pour for the whole episode, and Ted has to save the day. So I think that's a very strong episode, and apart from that, I don't know. I mean, I like the one we just saw there, where Ted offends the Chinese community.
Dougal seems the milk float thing is a sort of reverse thing of speed, isn't it?
It's nothing like speed.
Well, precisely. I mean,
no, yeah,
keeping it down, yeah, right.
I think you'll find in this series as well, there's quite a lot of kind of movie pastiche, movie references and TV references in it, and I think that's what. I think it's heavily inspired by The Simpsons, and I'm not doing the writers of the service by saying that. I think, you know, they will acknowledge that they're huge admirers of The Simpsons, as I am, and we all are.
Did Graham and Arthur's writing style influence your own writing? I'm just thinking of having a novel coming out soon. To deliberately avoid turning it to them.
Not really, because, you know, I kind of always wrote myself anyway. But having said that, I think you find no matter who you're sort of hanging around with at the time, you know, you kind of do pick up things without a doubt. Yeah, like Arthur actually has a great novel, which probably nobody will ever see. But it's a wonderful novel, and that inspired me to write my own book, I have to say.
Who do you count as your comedy influences when you were growing up? Or
I was one of these people denied access to television for years, so I didn't see much TV comedy when I was growing up. My father loved Jacques Tati, so we were only allowed to watch Jacques Tati movies. So I suppose he must have influenced me in some way, but yet I don't do any physical comedy, so I really don't know. I loved Laurel and Hardy when I was growing up, when I was very young. But it wasn't really until I was about 18 or 19 that I started taking a big interest in contemporary comedy, and it was the Rowan Atkinsons, I suppose, and Smith and Jones, and later Eddie Izzard and Jack Dee and people like that I started to really take a big interest in. Because it wasn't until I was mid-20s where I actually got heavily involved in comedy.
When you say you didn't have access to television, what do you mean? You were not allowed to watch certain things? Or not?
Just generally, it wasn't encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah, no television, books. We were allowed to read books. We watched the news and the Angelus. So that was about it.
what's it like playing a priest? Are there any perks?
Yeah, well, there is actually. You get free shoes.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Well, serious, in shoe shops. If you're on location, if you're wearing a priest uniform, you go to a shoe shop, they give you shoes.
Why?
Because there's great respect for priests in Ireland still. And I went into a shop one time and I wanted to buy a paper and some chocolate. And I got it free. Which is to say, go ahead.
So shoes, papers,
That type of thing. Generally, commercial transactions.
underwear.
Anything like that at all.
Do you get the sense that the Catholic Church has a sense of humour about the show?
I think so, definitely, yeah. In Ireland, it's more pronounced, obviously, because the Catholic Church is more pronounced. But I generally think they do appreciate it, they do enjoy it. I think it deflected a lot of attention away from the more serious type of criticism that was levelled at the church at the time. You know, certainly around the time of the first series, the Catholic Church in Ireland was in crisis. At that time, I think Father Ted helped kind of humanise the church in a way. And, you know, because I think the characters, even Jack, even the repulsive Jack, they're quite endearing, really. You know? So in some ways they appreciated it. I also think it's quite accurate, and that they recognise an awful lot of the characters who come and go from Craggy Island.
Was the time right, perhaps, for a sitcom that would sort of mock the Catholic Church?
Well, well, sort of. Well,
You know what I mean?
I think I don't think it's really about religion though either, or about the Catholic Church. You know, I think it's sort of cheers. But I thought you were going to offer me a cocktail sausage. I was about to say the bite out of your microphone. But so I don't really think it's about the church really. You know, I think there is a tiny element of it, a tiny proportion of it, which I suppose alludes to the church and its problems. But generally, it's about three really messed up sort of men who don't get on very well. And I think if anything, it taps into a kind of a male insecurity, which is quite relevant.
As a character, did Dougal have any backstory attached to it? Why he came to Craggy Island?
No.
It was just presented to you as...
Oh God, yeah. We've never even brought that up. I've never discussed that with the writers at any stage. We don't want to know how he got there, really, because I think it would kind of ruin it. It would certainly ruin it for me. It's like he just came from another planet or something and was just plonked there in amongst them. Yeah, because there's no way. I mean, there's no way he'd get into a seminary, you know.
So much talking about free shoes, but do you walk the streets as a priest? How do they know you're a priest?
That's what I'm saying. Like on location, when we're dressed as priests regularly, and it just amazes me the respect you get. You know, I'm really talking about the first series before people knew the characters, and you're wandering around like in costume, sort of waiting for your scene to come along in shops. Yeah, you're shops and wherever else you go, haberdashers, and. Yeah, you just get extraordinary respect still. And
Dougal has become something of a heartthrob, I suppose. What do you think is the character's particular appeal to women?
I think it's the lack of threat therein. You know, he's an innocent abroad, and he poses no threat. He's not aggressive in any way or forward. In fact, he's quite the opposite. And I don't know. I think he just. I think people just hanker for that type of innocence now. You know, really.
I think men have something to learn from him.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you find
I'm not doing this for fun. It's part of my philosophical attack on society.
Do you find you have to constantly reassure people that you're not really an idiot?
I don't really care, you know, to be honest. Like,
Is it strange to play an idiot all the time?
no, it's very enjoyable, I must say. It's like, I think part of the attraction of acting, because I've really very little acting experience, and certainly doing this type of role, it's a great escape. So, you know, for the couple of months, 2 months or 3 months we're doing this, it's actually, you know, playing Dougal. You know, I kind of do take him home with me for that 3 months and sort of be him. But I'm Dougal now, actually. It's just a great escape, a great retreat from the dirt and the grime and the noise and everything outside. Like, Dougal lives in his own little internal world. It's a wonderful world.
What do you put the success of Father Ted down to? Is it just the fact that 3 priests in a room is funny, or the fact that it's very kind of non-threatening? Just doesn't make any political points or anything, or religious points?
I think there's a lot of different levels to it, all right. But I think the bottom line is it's 3 very incompatible men thrown together. It's not necessarily the fact that the priests. I think, you know, there is that innocence. There's that surreal quality. There's, you know, the movie references, the movie pastiches, all of that type of thing, which people like to kind of that's that. Like, there's an episode where a lot of old women turn into zombies, and for the second half of the episode it becomes a zombie movie almost, you know, which is very good. It's, you know, it's spot on.
Like the Christmas special where you were in the department store and it was trapped in the code.
Yeah, it's a kind of a Oliver Stone Vietnam movie, you know. So there's quite a bit of that. I think there's also a very high ratio of jokes per second, which makes it you know, it's quite an exciting, fast-moving show, you know. Whereas I think some other sitcoms are quite stagey, they're quite theatrical and quite slow-moving. They're often very satisfying, you know, in terms of character, identifying with characters and all of that. But I think this one is really it's about laughs, you know, it's about pumping out the jokes, you know.
You also dare to do that dangerous thing, slapstick.
Exactly. There's as much visual as there is verbal, you know. And it always, like, amazes us, you know, every time Mrs. Doyle falls off a roof, it still raises a big laugh, you know.
What does your dad think about your dad didn't, you know, likes Jack Caffey and he encourages you to watch television?
I think he really enjoys it, you know, because I think before I did anything like Father Ted, you know, I was a relatively anonymous stand-up, and I don't think he ever fully appreciated what I was up to, you know. He never really saw much of it, or he couldn't see the point, or whatever. So I think when Father Ted came out first, he finally made sense of what I was up to for the last 5 or 6 years. And I think he just really, really enjoyed it. I think he enjoys it because it's quite childish. I think he always liked childish humour. And that gratifies me tremendously, that children love it so much.
Have you ever been, when you do it in front of the studio audience, where do you record the studio audience?
In the South Bank.
Have you ever had a heckle from the audience or anything at all?
No, that's the beauty of doing TV. Like, it's such a cosy, safe world compared to any other job, really. But I mean, stand-up in particular, you know, you've got the luxury of doing retakes. You've got an audience who are only there because they really, really love the show. You know, certainly for Series 2 and Series 3. So it really is. It's a good time. We have a good time in there.
Do you think the humour in the series after Graham's writing is closer to Dublin or to London?
I think it's a mixture of both, and I think in general, I think what it does is it mixes the best in kind of Irish type absurdist humour and a very specifically Irish sensibility with the great tradition of British sitcom making. I mean, this sitcom could never be made in Ireland because they don't have the technical know-how in Irish TV to do such things. So I think it's a marriage of those two traditions. You know, it takes the best of the British sitcom tradition and Irish kind of surreal humour.
Do you ever fancy making a film like Mr. Bean?
I'm open to offers.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it from the start. Like, I kind of knew Arthur and Graham, you know, the writers, and I knew where they were coming from, and I shared their sense of humour and their ideas about comedy very, very much so. And I never saw like Dougal as a kind of a really fun, stupid, thick character at all. You know, I always saw him just as a kind of a really quirky, left field character. You know, and that's why I always tried to play it more as a child than a stupid person.
What's the most that you've had to do?
I think it's just endless. It's just a succession of equally mad setups. I can't really highlight one, but you know, in a strange way, it's normal. It just seems quite normal. I don't know.
Are you involved in any other sitcom work at the moment? So
No.
are you? Do people send you scripts and stuff for other sitcoms?
I get the odd script, yeah. But I've got this perverse thing about TV and TV shows. Like, I'm not actually a huge fan of television in general, and I feel I've been very lucky to land a role like Father Dougal, because as long as I live, I probably won't ever get a role as good. So I'm very wary of doing anything again in TV, you know.
It's maybe not before. Would you like to do a full series?
Yeah. I wouldn't be adverse to it, but not in the immediate future, you know. I'd like to leave it for as long as possible.
So it's more to come from it.
Well, it's told up to the writers, you know, as long as they can keep churning out the ideas. But you know, they're ambitious people with lots of things in the pipeline, and you know, I would hope for their sake as much as ours that you know they would develop in other ways. Yeah, I know they will. I think.
Sorry if you already
Sorry.
talked about this. I gather you've written a book.
Yes, it has a name.
Is that a secret?
I have it. No, it's not a secret. It's coming out in May. It's your bog standard Irish novel.
What sort of market will that be aimed at? I mean, will it be aimed at people who enjoy Father Ted, or is it completely different?
Well, I hope not. I mean, you know, I always wanted to write a book from the day I was born. So for me, it's just a novel, and I actually asked the publishers at the time, foolishly, to take my name off it and use a pseudonym. And that's why they ended up
with the proof.
Yeah, which didn't really work, you know, because they had a silhouette of me on the back.
I think when the rep subbed the book in under your name, and then we had the proof afterwards,
Yeah,
I think that kind of stalled down.
So you know, I was very conscious that I wanted to be treated as any first novel, but, you know, but that is stupid to say that, because I wouldn't have got a publishing deal if I wasn't in Father Ted. So you know, it's a double-edged sword or whatever. But I hope in the long run that people will just treat it as a first novel. I enjoyed writing it. I think I achieved what I set out to do in it, and I just see how it goes, you know.
Have you read Sean Hughes' book?
No.
Would you like to?
Life's too short. Please don't quote me on that. Sean's a friend of mine, and I'm sure it's a wonderful book.
Where do you actually call home now?
I suppose London. Yeah. Mind you know, I love going back to Dublin, and I try and spend as much time there as I can. But you know, London is where I work, and where Father Ted is made, and where I do stand-up.
Got a tour coming up or anything like that?
I hope to tour again in the autumn. Yeah.
You talked about, you know, wanting to do comedy and stuff, but if you hadn't done comedy, if that hadn't worked, do you have any other ideas in mind?
No, I really didn't have any idea at all. I kind of, you know, I was always on the fringes of comedy. I mean, there was never a live comedy circuit in Ireland, but myself and my friends, we set up a club, and you know, we did our best for 4 or 5 years to really get comedy going, you know, and we loved people like Eddie Izzard and that, and we used to go to the Edinburgh Festival every year and sort of try to recreate what we saw over there in Dublin, and you know, with some success, I suppose. Like, there are still a lot of young Irish comics playing in this place, the Comedy Cellar that we set up, and that's the kind of the springboard for London.
How involved are you in the stand-up show and actually choosing the acts?
I've very little involvement in that. I've none actually. That's right.
Probably the two most popular sitcoms in Channel 4, Friends and Father Ted. It's quite a different cast, isn't it? No, but I mean, Friends and Father Ted, you can't really imagine Father Jack or Doyle ending up in Friends, can you?
I remember writing something about that once, about Friends. Like, I kind of like Friends, you know, it's funny and there's some great lines in it and everything else. But, you know, I do think it's very sentimental and it's kind of ucky in a way, you know, and it's got the usual sort of disease, the moralizing disease and all that in it. But I think the crucial difference between American sitcoms and I suppose British sitcoms in general is that you know, all the people are unreal in Friends. Like Friends, to all intents and purposes, is a naturalistic, realistic type of setting that people are supposedly can identify with. But they're all odiously beautiful people, you know, who have wonderful relationships and wonderful situations. Whereas something like Father Ted has generally repulsive, disgusting people, but they're real. You know, that's what I love about it.
So more of your friends look like the cast of Father Ted than
of course they do. Of course they do. They're normal people.
It's finally, you did a cameo part in The Witch Boy, very short cameo part. Is there some direction you're going to move in? Feature films? Or
I really don't know, you know. I have no idea, like, I don't know.
Any long-term plans?
Well, you know, I think for the last 3 or 4 years I worked very hard, you know, and I did too much. I took on an awful lot, and you know, for the next year or so, I'm kind of trying to scale it down without getting complacent. So it's, you know, it's a privileged position to be in this type of business, you know, to be able to at least pick and choose for a while. But you only have a while where you can actually sit back and take a breather. So I'm hoping to take a breather for a few months. Something like The Butcher Boy, if something like that came up, I would do it because, you know, I was like in awe of the book, you know, and I think that's why I went for that. Even though it's a tiny, negligible cameo, you know, it was still very enjoyable to do, to be associated with greatness.
What's your favourite book?
Favourite book? Well, The Butcher Boy would be my favourite book of the last 10 years, in terms of contemporary Irish fiction, I suppose. But I like, you know, apart from that, Toni Morrison, people, American writers, Don DeLillo, huge fan, you know.
So you got through Underworld then?
Through the prologue. That's about all. Actually got a signed copy. I found one in the shop. Amazing.